What an exciting day to celebrate Thiel's connections, long connections with Fred Rogers and his family foundation. But I first would like to recognize some special guests, Jim and Richard Okonek from the Feely Foundation. Board Trustees Emeritus, Jim McHugh, Barbara Nichols, welcome. Fred and Fred Hare, as well, Trustee, Board of Trustee, welcome. Thiel has long had a connection to Pittsburgh. It was founded by William Passavant, who came up and out and thinking, how do I expand the Pittsburgh reach, the Lutheran reach? So from its very founding, we've been connected with Pittsburgh. But then in the 20th century, we had the great honor of connecting with Fred Rogers, offering him his first of many honorary degrees. But I think his speech that he gave here on the occasion of receiving a degree from Thiel in 1969, and I think part of that speech is quoted on the wall here, is regularly recycled by folks interested in understanding what he thought in terms of early childhood education. We recognized him, Thiel College recognized him and used the phrase visionary educator, and I think that captures very much his remarkable career. So on this week, particularly, when we think about Mr. Rogers' neighborhood and the challenge of creating a loving and caring and respectful community, we reflect on what he taught all of us. And I did grow up watching Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. And I think we can learn a lot about thinking about how to be inclusive, how to respect people, and how to use media and communication for its very most positive end to make our society a better society, a safer society, a neighborhood, that we all are neighbors. And at Thiel, we will continue and that tradition. It's woven into our own mission. But this Pedas Center very much shows our commitment to the notion of dynamic, interactive communication and media. And then now, today, to dedicate this wonderful room celebrating Fred Rogers and all he represents to this region, to this nation, and to Thiel College. It's just a wonderful opportunity to say thank you to the Feely Foundation for making this possible. This is a gift to the college. Students, this is how it works. We enrich and enhance this college in many different ways, but we depend on the gifts of alumni, of generous foundation, of our Board of Trustees. And the students always hear me talking about giving back, that as they launch, keep in mind, these are the kind of wonderful things that enrich our campus. Now, in addition, and last, I'll say, what a perfect time to have this room, because we have just gone into partnership with Head Start and the local PA Success by 6, something close to that. But we have these wonderful future Thiel College students on our campus down at the Johnson Center, our community outreach center. And it's a joy to have them here, and it's a joy to be in partnership with Head Start. I think Fred Rogers would be very proud of seeing his legacy continued. So with that, I'll turn the program over to Jim McHugh.
Good morning. It's a real privilege to be able to be here today and on behalf of the board, express our appreciation to the foundation and for a long, long commitment that just doesn't happen today from the time Fred received his honorary degree here in 1969. This creates a bit of a problem, however, for the foundation, because Fred had 43 honorary degrees, and this is the first time we've done a room like this. So you're going to have to get in line. You're not going to believe this, but I left this campus 60 years ago as a graduate. You believe it? I was kind of hoping you wouldn't. 40. Anyway, it's been the connection with Latrobe, Pennsylvania is not a newfound situation here for the college. They were the first to give an honorary degree, award an honorary degree to Arnold Palmer. And shortly thereafter, well, actually, Fred was first. So there's two Latrobe natives that this college was able to recognize greatness in its earliest beginnings and in fact establish a relationship. My own relationship, I didn't grow up in Latrobe, I just happened to be a 50-year resident. But my first encounter with Latrobe was when I came here on my first day here when I was thinking about leaving. I didn't know why I was here and how long it would last. I happened to have a gentleman across the aisle from me in Harder Hall, which no longer exists. But he had a broken leg as a result of football and convinced me that I should stay. So he's still a Latrobe native. He's had 3 brothers who've gone to Thiel. His father was a pastor on the board here. So the Latrobe connection continues. Just a few comments. Jim Pedas was a visionary and a wonderful board member. Continues to be an emeritus trustee, Dr. Pedas, actually. But his vision and what he was able to accomplish from a communications point of view is, particularly in the Washington, D.C. area, is well known and appreciated. And at the time, he decided that this would be a good addition to the campus, again, with the vision of communications in the future. And you can see what a wonderful building it is and the capabilities that it brings and the opportunity for students. But at that time, I've been friends with folks at the foundation and in the community for a long time. What I saw was a potential for a connection between the two, okay? And the foundation at the time decided that they would participate in a construction of a room like this, not really having an idea what it might be. And for the longest time, the only connection we had was that little trolley. And I think a lot of people knew what it was, and the name on the door was Fred Rogers, and Dr. Fred Rogers. And I don't know how many people really understood that it was Mr. Rogers. Well, as it came together over time, and they were thinking about the way this room could best be used, and what I hear now is that before it was an occasional visitation by students, but now it's pretty popular. And isn't it prophetic that this all came together on the 50th anniversary of Fred's television debut? So it's from the board again. I'm sure it will be appreciated. There's a board meeting later this week. I'm sure they're all going to see this and have the same feeling that I had when I walked through the door. When you walk through that door, it looks like Fred's here and he's walking out the back door. Okay? And it's kind of inviting. And I hope that's the case. The other thing I think you should know in terms of Fred's commitment and the foundation commitment to the college is from the time he received, immediately thereafter, he established a scholarship here for 2 students from Westmoreland County, and that scholarship's been in effect since that time. And I think there are a couple recipients, or maybe one recipient here today. I've met them over time. There's a person who's a recipient here. Oh, just stand up, okay? See, that's, well, you're delivering on a commitment that he made, and that is to support students here, and I think it's wonderful that it continues. I'm glad you could be here.
Thank you, President Traverso, Mr. Orr, the Thiel students, and these pre-K guys. I mean, they're awesome. And faculty and guests. It's a beautiful day on the Thiel campus. While everyone is celebrating Fred's 50th year of production, we're also celebrating a Mr. Rogers first, and that is here at Thiel College. Fred Rogers received his first honorary doctorate, and as Jim mentioned, there are over 43 of those, on November 13th, 1969. Since then, the McFeely Rogers Foundation and Thiel have had a most meaningful relationship. And today we continue that fond friendship with the dedication of this special room. And if I can explain the room a little bit, as Dr. McHugh, Jim McHugh mentioned, this trolley is really pretty huge, but up there it's about this big. And what we wanted to do as you entered this wonderful space was draw you to this space with the Mr. Rogers room. And as you can see, we've tried to show Fred in different aspects. Of course, his persona here, but these are his puppets. The iconic shoes, everyone knows. And because of this media space, this media room, his set, taken from above, showing down on this piano. Also, what we wanted to do was when you walk into this space, as Mr. McHugh mentioned as well, we wanted to show Fred. So when you come in, there's Fred. Not necessarily walking out the back door. If you've ever been to Idlewild Park, he's walking over the bridge at Idlewild Park. And of course, his shoes, and he's carrying X the Aisle. The first wall here is Fred's bio, all about Fred. Born and raised in Latrobe, went to Latrobe High School. He graduated with a music composition degree from Rollins College. In 1953, he started the Children's Corner, and there's a relationship with WQED in Pittsburgh at its infancy, which was the first public television and radio station. He was ordained as a Presbyterian minister in 1963, and on his trip to Canada, back to Pittsburgh at QED, he began the Children's Corner, and then in 1968, 50 years ago, he started his program, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And Fred received every major award in television at which he was eligible, and others including the Presidential Medal of Freedom from President Bush at the White House in 2002. I had the pleasure of being there with him, and it was very, very quite impressive, and Fred felt quite honored. The three pictures that you see on this right wall, this first wall, is at the QED set. We thought that would be effective, again, what we're trying to accomplish in this building and with the students here. The wall in the back, again, Fred walking, as you come in here, there's Fred. And also we made it that we wanted to recapture his honorary degree, and that's what we called the Thiel wall. There's excerpts from his speech in 1969 for his honorary degree, and you can see we put the Thiel College insignia at the bottom of that as well. Wall number 3 is what we wanted to do is showcase his studio, and that's from above. As you can see Fred there, he's walking in the door as he always did, and reflective of his work. And also, we spent a great deal of time on the quotes. We wanted to reach to the Thiel students and what is relevant to them, both as a freshman going through their senior year, as well as beyond. So the freshman the McFeely Rogers Foundation trustees are pleased and proud and honored to be able to share this space, the Fred McFeely Rogers space, with you. 49 years later, once again, we're pleased with this valued room. But before I close, I'd like to recognize Roberta Leonard. Her persistence, patience, kindness, spirited personality, and welcome charm has made this all possible. She started this, and you can see the results, and we're very proud of you and very proud of Thiel College. Thank you.